Have you ever felt isolated from the rest of the world? Even though there are so many ways we can connect to each other nowadays, even before the pandemic, many of us have been feeling isolated from each other. And why is that? Well, I have some guesses and thoughts as to why we feel so isolated nowadays. And there are many theories, and much research has been put towards this as well. Even if you look at works of fiction like Fahrenheit 461, I'm not very good with remembering numbers, but I think this is the number. Even this simple work that is aimed mostly at young adults, it helps us understand why in the modern world we're so isolated from each other. So one of the reasons I think we're so isolated is because capitalism profits off of this. How is that? When we are isolated from each other, we often feel powerless and like we cannot change much. And that is true. A single individual cannot bring about a meaningful change. We can change our own little circumstances every now and then, but most of the time we can't actually bring about a meaningful change. So this is one of the simplest, most obvious reasons why it is profitable for capitalism to keep us apart. If we cannot together talk about our common issues, if we cannot unite under a prevailing set of ideas, then we can't influence anything in a meaningful way. Another reason why it's profitable to keep us apart is because we feel lonely, and we can sell things to lonely people much more easily because they will believe that they need to remedy some kind of silly thing about themselves, go to the gym and get buff, or get proper skincare and make your skin radiant and beautiful, and then everyone's gonna want to hang out with you. Whatever, pick your poison. There's so many capitalist lies that have overtaken the world. So pick your poison, as they say. And all of these usually are based on ignorance. So you don't have to look a certain way or even behave a certain way in order to be accepted by the other members of your community. But capitalism wants you to believe that if you are not this kind of an individual, therefore you're unacceptable. And obviously, most of the people stop believing this once they stop being teenagers. But even if you think marketing doesn't get you to buy more things to appeal to certain people, you still will feel much more insecure under the capitalist rule, and it's going to be harder to connect to others when you feel inferior to others, or when you feel you don't deserve the attention of others, or you feel like you have nothing of importance to contribute. So capitalism has all of these schemes that are beautifully wrapped and ready for sale. Here, buy our course on how to become a better human. And most of us want to believe that we're not that gullible, we're not going to fall into these. So there's more and more of this pervasive innovation where those under capitalism strive to create new ways of capturing the attention of a certain audience in order to profit off of them. So this is another reason why we may feel more isolated under the capitalist rule. And there are 10 million more reasons why we will always be isolated under capitalism. Mostly because capitalism doesn't care about the quality of life of the people. If you want to be happy and fulfilled, then capitalism is not for you. It's very difficult to be happy and fulfilled. This fear of missing out, as infamously called FOMO, is instilled into us from a very young age. It is done on purpose. And if you guys have heard about the whole Transformers shenanigans, they were this whole movie series starting with cartoons, were aimed at selling children toys. And how is that connected to the feeling of isolation, you might ask? Well, imagine yourself being a child, and from your early days, you're continuously targeted, and you're continuously told, oh, you're going to be so cool, and everyone's going to want to hang out with you if you've got this latest, best toy. And again, we all want to think that we are not at all influenced by this. But we are, because we're humans. We want to feel like we belong. And capitalism finds more ways to convince us that we don't. They always will point out little things about you that don't matter at all. Look at your eyebrows. Bleh. Oh, like you've got to, wash your hair a certain way or else you're ill. I'm so frustrated with all the capitalist lies. I'm so frustrated, feeling isolated from the people. I'm so frustrated that I cannot talk to people in good faith because they will be afraid that I'm just there trying to offer them some kind of stupid remedy for loneliness. Because I don't have a remedy for loneliness. Nobody has. We all have the power to help each other, yet we're afraid to help each other. Because we think that, another person is going to start exploiting us if we show weakness. So we begin to protect ourselves in very harmful ways. We stop trusting people because we've been lied to so many times. We don't want to fall for pyramid schemes, so we ban people on our social media that we think may be promoting something. And I am one of these people as well. I don't want to be sold to continuously. And on social media, there are so many examples of how true human connection is being exploited, where people friend you or follow you, and then they talk to you, and they may even engage in what seems to be a meaningful conversation. And then later on, they offer you essential oils or something, and you're like, this whole time it's been an elaborate scheme to just sell me things. And you feel betrayed. You feel that you've been used, because that's exactly what happened. You've been used. And why do we humans want to use each other so much nowadays? This is not inherent to humankind. We don't want to exploit each other. And I know from experience, because I've interacted with so many people over the years from all over the world, and very few people actually wanted to exploit me if they had access to basic necessities and they were genuinely happy with their lives. They never wanted to exploit me. They wanted true connection and true friendship. And I never felt like I was being used for some kind of profitable gain. So let's stop. Let's put an end to this capitalist instilled propaganda. Let's put an end to the capitalist isolation. Let's start connecting to each other in more genuine ways once again. And it's going to look different for everyone. But for me, making videos, being vulnerable online is one of the ways I try to openly connect to people. I don't have an agenda. What I want to is to talk to people and share what I have learned over the years. And I want to keep on learning together with others, because I have a lot of experience learning communally, and it's very fun, and it's actually accelerating the process of learning. So I want to continue learning, and I want others to engage with me so we can all gain without exploiting each other.